This used to be my view, but it's Val's view now. This is the second video now that I'm doing with Val. We've been back from our trip for 3 weeks or a month or something, and I just wanted to do a recap with you on two things: how you liked your trailer and what your plans are with this trailer now, and also how you just thought the whole trip went. Was it what you thought and everything? So let's start with how the trailer worked for you. Tell me.
I think the trailer worked great. The trailer's only as smart as you are, and live and learn all along the way about the moisture, the condensation, that sort of thing. When we were traveling on the coastline, it was very moist in there.
Yeah.
So did a lot of drying out, spilled water, did a lot of drying out there. Used the vent. That again, I talked to Northern to help me out with the venting. Then I built a pallet bed, and then had some mats underneath it for the condensation. And so I think overall it worked really great. I felt the very first day was really difficult because I've lost trailers. They've come off the hitch. The balls have just...
In the past.
In the past, yeah. Yes. So I was constantly watching the bearings and the balls and making sure everything was connected properly and that sort of thing. And then I realized it's just going to follow me. From now on, it's just going to follow me.
Well, as far as you towing it too, I noticed a big difference within like a few days of us leaving home. The first few days we were going quite slow, and I could tell you were quite nervous about towing it.
Yeah.
And then one day you got out in front of me and I could hardly keep up. You got your confidence.
Yeah, don't tell the grandchildren that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, so it's an easy trailer to tow. You just had to build some confidence. It took a couple of days to build your confidence, and then you were fine.
The RAV4 is a 4-cylinder, so it's a very small vehicle to tow this with, but it's the smallest you would tow this with. You wouldn't go with a Austin Mini to tow this, right?
Yeah.
But it's pretty much towable by anything. Like your van would have no problem with it, but you would feel it.
Yeah.
Like you feel that extra weight when you've got your...
Yeah. And I can't tow a trailer anyways. I could, but it would just be way more work for me.
Yeah. Trying
to unhook it and hook it back up and everything.
Yeah, no, I've towed trailers all my life. So this trailer here was pretty easy to tow. To hook up, I've got the lock on it right now, but you take the lock off, make sure your safety chains are on, and then you've got a 7-pin right there. And this, I love it because I can put it basically.
You don't have
anywhere.
To lift it, and that levels it too, I guess.
You can put a level on there. Huh. So this is for your propane tanks. My battery's in there right now, but if I had a propane fridge or a propane stove, that's where you'd store it, or any other things. The reason I got this was because I wanted to be off the ground and away from all the spiders and the
creepies of the desert.
And the creepies of the desert, right?
Yeah.
And the only thing I did see was the spiders. And I did have them inside the tent.
You had one black widow inside, and you had one, that hairy looking one outside that I did a video on a couple of weeks ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if I told you this, but after we left the ranch in Arizona, the next day they found a baby rattler snake.
Oh yeah.
In the house.
In the house.
In the house. He had to get it out. So yeah.
Oh.
So anyways, I'm glad that we were gone by then.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Oh, you were gone too.
I was gone too. Yeah. Yeah. It was the day after I left. I left a day after Val. So.
Yeah. I've traveled with my holiday trailer before. Not this one, but this is the third one I've had. And I used to put my puppets in there. Other times I would put myself in there and my puppets in the car. And I would travel to like northern Alberta.
Because this was your business. This is what you did. You're a ventriloquist by trade.
Yeah.
And so you would travel around and put on shows all over.
Yeah. Yeah. So I would sleep in there, but then I set up my trailer so I could put all my puppets in there. And when I was married, then my husband, myself, and my son would be able to go in the car, and my puppets would be in that trailer. So when I was not married, I did use it as a holiday trailer, and my hotel when I would go to different places.
Okay, so it wasn't really different kind of trip for you, but going and traveling and not really having a plan. We just kind of went.
Oh, by a lick and a prayer. Yeah.
I
No.
guess seat of your pants kind of traveling kind of thing.
Yeah,
like we.
no, I've never done seat of your pants. I've never had that freedom to do that. So I've been waiting for 4 years to go seat of my pants with you. And I appreciate that because there's undiscovered things out there, and I saw a lot of undiscovered things. Like you'd say, okay, we're going to meet in this town. I'd go a different way, but you didn't say which way to go.
Yeah.
So the way I went was apparently the longer way, and I got to see other things than you did. And then when we were camped at Quartzsite, a friend saw that on Facebook. And I didn't know that she had moved, and she moved to what was that?
Casa Grande.
Casa Grande. So she said, if you're close. So I looked it up, and darn, we were close. And she said, if you're coming through, let me know. And we were coming through, so I let her know. And had I not done that, let her know, I wouldn't have known about the Desert Rose being right there because I hadn't thought about where the
Baha'i.
Desert Rose
That's a
was.
Baha'i center.
The Baha'i Center, yeah.
Yeah.
So all those things add up to pleasant surprises. So I was happy to fly by the seat of my pants, and I've been invited to Alaska now.
That was
and
going to be
back
one of
to
my
the Desert
questions. You had a
Rose.
couple of opportunities come out of that, so tell us about
Yeah,
that.
so I can go up to Alaska and help with children's classes, and then hopefully we'll.
This is through Baha'i or through the Virtues
through
Project,
Baha'i
or both?
and the Virtues Project.
Because Val's also very involved in the Virtues Project.
Yeah, so I was teaching children's classes well before I became a Baha'i, and because I was a Virtues Project master facilitator, and because I use puppets, and I teach the Virtues Project. Well, I teach virtues through my puppets, and I've done that all over the world through organizations like Baha'i organizations.
And so now there's this thing in Alaska that you're going to do next summer?
This summer.
This coming summer.
Yeah.
Oh, like in the next few months.
Probably in August, yeah.
Oh,
when we
cool.
have fire season here in Anchorage. I'll be up in Anchorage doing some stuff. And then in the wintertime, I'll be going back to the Desert Rose Center to help with critical thinking skills and children's classes, and developing some new children's classes with critical thinking skills. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, I know. When I first said I was going to volunteer, you said, what for? To clean the rooms? And I was like, I don't know, but I'm going to do it.
But now you know, and it sounds like it's way more in line with your skills rather than, I mean, not that you're probably not good at cleaning things, but
yeah, no.
But your talents, I should say. Yeah. So traveling, so there was extra stuff that, like, totally unanticipated that came out of traveling.
Yeah.
That, you know, now that you're newly retired and you thought maybe you were going to just be traveling, but you've also got bonus stuff that's productive.
Yeah, I do like being at home, though. Like, I found myself...
Well, duh, listen to the geese and everything. And
yeah, I think I filled up the car after I got home, and I would hazard a guess that it might cost me $10 to fill it up now. So I haven't been out. I value my time wherever it is, so you have to be present wherever you are, and I find that I'm really present at home right now and thinking about things that need to get done. Also, I had a very, very sad last day of travel. My cat died. Yeah, so I had to come home and bury him.
Yeah, very sad to not be there, especially.
Yeah, he was my only companion because I live alone. And I didn't realize how much I would miss him. And within 2 weeks, like, I spiraled. I was just like, there's nobody around to talk to.
Yeah.
And, you know, you're constantly getting hugs from them, and you're constantly petting them, and you don't realize it until they're not there. So Yeah, I got a new little guy.
Yeah.
Girl.
I'm sad for your loss.
I'm 65. I have arthritis, so much so that I've gone through a gamut of drugs to try to stifle it, to try to stop it from growing. I've been on methotrexate. That's a chemotherapy drug that they use a minor amount in as a arthritis drug. I have no cartilage in my bones. There's none left. They're replaced with
In your hands or everywhere?
My spine. Well, so far what I have, what I know about are the things that they've x-rayed. So they've x-rayed the spine. There's none there. We need cartilage, right? It's cushion.
Yeah.
There's no jumping. I don't jump. No trampoline for me. There's no cartilage left in my hands, and yet I love to work with my hands. So,
everything you do is with your hands. You're very
yeah.
You're an artist. So.
Yeah, so bending over, if you don't have to do it, why do you do it? So that's why I'm selling it. I would like to stand up in my trailer, get dressed, lay down in bed. I don't want to lay down and get dressed. I don't want to lay down and get undressed. I want, or bend over like this to go on the potty, because you can't stand up to go onto the potty. So those sorts of things. And I love that trailer. Like,
well, it's really cute. It is a very cute trailer.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's a cool trailer.
So you're definitely still sold on having something that you tow rather than sleeping in something that you're driving in?
Yeah, well, that's a brand new RAV4, 50,000 kilometers on it. So
you don't want to make adaptations, you mean?
Adaptations to sleep in there? Well,
yeah.
It's, again, it would be sleeping like this.
Yeah, too small.
Like a beached whale.
Too small and too short.
You're crawling all over the place, right?
Yeah.
And it's really hard on your arms and your shoulders.
Yeah,
so
good
my
point.
arms and shoulders are gone because of the ventriloquism. So that was a difficult sleep in there.
Yeah.
But live and learn, right? Yeah, it's about standing up. That's comfortable.
Being able to pull your pants on.
Right. Right,
Yeah.
one leg at a time. But I'm surprised I was able to do a month in it, actually.
Well, you did well, and it seemed like you were enjoying it for the most part, except for black widows and.
Yeah. Well, take a look at this. So you're in a parking lot, and the last place I stayed at was truck stop / casino, and it was fairly rough. There was only myself and another trailer out where everybody was, and the rest of them were truck stops. So where I had parked, I went into my trailer like this. All the truckers are here, all of them, and I go into the trailer like this. That is not.
Sorry, I just zoomed in on your butt.
That is not a comfortable situation to be around truckers.
No
right?
kidding. Yeah.
So I grabbed my trailer, and I moved it around the other end of the only other trailer that was there. And so all the truckers were over here, and I was up there away from the sight of all these other truckers.
Which also gets you away from the noise of all their.
It didn't actually, because there was a diesel that parked beside the trailer, the other trailer, and he was running all night. But that's sort of something that you. I didn't actually think about it until I stood up and took a look outside. There was one other incident when we were camping at Quartzsite, and
the guy.
Yeah, so all of yourself and the friends that you had were in another camp spot, ready for a campfire that night.
Yeah.
I'm totally alone in my trailer, and I'm like this, looking for something in my trailer, probably my water bottle. And I get out like this, and there's a man behind me. He's come out from nowhere.
Yeah.
There was nobody camped back there.
Yeah.
And he's come out with his dog, and he said, "Hey, ma'am, I need water." And I'm like, "Okay, you think quick on your feet." Well, I do. I'm like, I'll get you some water. Let me just take you over to where my friends are camped, and you followed along. My dog needs water, and I said, I'll bring your dog water too. Come and see where all my friends are camped, and we're having a campfire tonight. And I just dropped him off there. It was maybe 40, 50 feet away.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, we couldn't see them from my trailer.
Yeah, there was trees and shrubs.
So I dropped off him and his dog where everybody else was sitting around. I went back, got his water, and came back and gave it to him.
Which he actually used to pour on rocks. He didn't drink it. He used it to pour on rocks to show us that we had gold. He had gold.
Yeah, but that's kind of sketchy things that you gotta watch out for, right? And so that's when I first realized bending over the trailer wasn't a good idea.
Places where we stayed. So we stayed at like Love's, a lot of Love's gas stations. We stayed at Cracker Barrel restaurants. We stayed at pullouts. Casinos. I don't remember what all else, but what's sort of your opinion on each of those things?
Well, if I was to rate it 1 out of 10, I would say casinos are a 10.
I agree.
Cracker Barrel would probably be next, Love's next, and then truck stops and pullouts last. No,
our very first night was in a rest area.
Oh, that one was okay, but there was a weird guy there too.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and I had to warn you about him because I didn't want to leave without warning you about him. Well, women alone are vulnerable, right? Yeah. So you got to get from the back of your car into the front of your car. And I noticed how you parked when you do that. So there's absolutely nobody that sees you when you get out of your car because of
there's definitely a strategy, not just for me though, but for everybody should have a strategy about how they park.
Yeah, no, I didn't have a strategy. Obviously, there's more to see, but I didn't really appreciate the desert like other people did. I would feel filthy. I'd have my shower in my tent and feel very good about it, and then come out of the tent and feel very good, and then the wind would pick up and I'd feel filthy again.
Yeah.
And it was so cumbersome to have a shower in my shower tent, especially in the wind in Arizona. So
stayed in one campground on the Oregon coast.
Yeah.
So would you put that above what was your top one? First, casinos.
Casinos.
So would you put that above casinos?
I'd say yes.
I think probably everybody would. The thing is it costs money.
So if you did 50-50, 50% of the time, or at least once a week, go into a campground.
Yeah.
And then casino it. Campground, casino it.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that would work.
I don't know if I mentioned it on this video or the other video that the reason Val and I know each other is because she bought some cabins that I owned, 10 years ago? 8 years ago?
Yeah.
And so, of course, I made friends with her because then I could come back to my cabins all the time. So, anyways, I was just thinking that maybe we could show around a little bit. And I will show a before picture from when I had it, but Val fixed the patio on this, something I always wanted to do, but I never would have done it that creatively. Looks really nice. And this patio wasn't here, and there was no hot tub before. And she's now made it into one single unit. It used to be a duplex. And this building that she's showing us now is a building that she built all by herself. No contractor. She had some volunteers come and help her, but mostly she did it all herself.
So this is the carriage house, and I have it rented out. And underneath the carriage house, I park. There's a little patio there. And then my shop is behind the carriage house, or underneath. That's the living room overhang.
And this is the view from in front of the cabins. So peaceful. It's a really wonderful little lake.
Overall, I'm glad I did it.
Yeah.
I'm glad I finally did it, but I'm also very glad to be home.